This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in Essex ahead of the Golden Contract Tournament Saturday night. With me, one of the favourites of the tournament, Hosea Burton. Jose, it's finally here. How happy are you to get this opportunity finally?
Really happy to get the opportunity. It's been something I've been wanting for a long time.
Now, you left with Bob Aziz after yesterday's draw. Nobody seemed to want to pick you after you got a red ball. What do you make of that?
There was me and Bob. If we both had red balls, we was both getting picked last. It's just the way it goes. Look, I'm the fight favourite, the tournament favourite. I'm 2-1 on or something to win the fight, 2-1 to win the whole competition. You know, the bookies have me the favourite. BoxRec, right? I'm ranked the worst in the competition on BoxRec, but when it comes to actually having a fight, I'm ranked the best in the competition. Where does BoxRec get their silly numbers from?
I have no idea, Jose. I'm sure someone will tell us. As it happens, you've got Bob. You've made it quite clear from even before you got Bob that you felt you two were the two best fighters in the competition, and you two would probably go the furthest. As it happens, you meet each other in the quarterfinals in what could have been a potential final. He's someone you were calling out a long time ago. Are you happy you've got this opportunity?
This fight's been 5 years in the making. You know, I fought one time in Newcastle against a man called Joe Hillaby. And Bob was fighting 2 weeks later on a Leeds show, on a Josh Warrington show, defending his British and Commonwealth. And his opponent had trouble getting his visa, so Eddie was stressing about it, saying, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah, I don't know what to do." I said, "I'll fight him." And then Joe says, "Yeah, Jose will fight him, no problem." So, like I was helping Eddie out, I was helping Bob out, giving him the fight. It's just one of them things, he just didn't fancy it at that time. And to be honest, I don't really think he fancies it now.
You brought the room to a standstill briefly when you were asked how you see the fight playing out. You said it could be boring. Bob can be quite awkward, quite tentative at times. In your own words, though, what can we expect to see from the pair Saturday? Do you think it could be a bit of a clash of styles sometimes?
I do think it could be a clash of styles. I can see me going out there, taking the centre of the ring, controlling the ring. Bob trying to do his thing. If Bob tries to come forward, which Bob doesn't come forward, but if he does try to come forward, he cut his own throat. If he tries to box off and try to be clever, he loses big on points. So just the way I see the fight going. I might be totally wrong, but I'm not usually too wrong.
Now, you've been waiting for a breakout opportunity, a big opportunity since the Buglioni fight. I know it's been a frustrating period for yourself. When this opportunity came about, you knew you were contractually tied into this tournament with a huge pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so to speak. Have you had that extra spring in your step in camp going towards this tournament?
Of course I have. Since I knew this competition was on, they phoned me and asked me, "Do you fancy going in it?" I said, "Of course." I've just been waiting for the big opportunities. I've been waiting for any opportunity, to be honest. Not just big ones. Anybody, if they want to fight me for an English title, if they want to fight me for a Central Area title, I was there ready to fight, because there's no point being a boxer if you don't want to fight anybody. I'm a fighting man to be a fighting man. You know, I'm not just walking around saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a professional boxer. How many fights have you had this year?" "Oh well, I've had one." Why is that? Because nobody wants to fight me. That's the reason. You know, I don't want to walk around and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a boxer and I pulled out 10 fights this year and a load of crap." I'm a fighter. I want to fight, and this competition allows me to get the publicity that I need and want.
I was about to ask you about that incentive at the end of the tournament, obviously a multi-fight deal. A lot of people will look at the money, but for you, obviously, you've had your frustrations getting the fights. Is it not just about the money for you, but knowing that you're going to be secured to a multi-fight deal where you can probably attract the bigger names and get consistent fights as well?
The multi-fight deal is brilliant. The money is also brilliant. You know, I've got a wife and 4 kids. I've got to look after them, and boxing ain't the best way to look after your family. So the money's a big part of it, but also the fights, the publicity, everything is a big part. So obviously you wouldn't just get in and have a fight for no money in this competition, but if it was the money or no fights, well, I'm talking in riddles here now, but you need to have plenty of money, you need to have plenty of fights. That's what boxing's about.
couple of fights away from this, I want to get your thoughts on sharing the bill with all these light heavyweights. We've got the English light heavyweight title on the line. Dan Aziz is going to be facing a man from Mayan, Lawrence Oswego. I just want your thoughts on the fight. Hosea, how do you see that one playing out?
This is a very good question, because what I've seen of Dan Aziz, strong, good puncher. I sparred Lawrence the other day. Lawrence can fight. He's a good boxer. Anybody take Lawrence lightly will lose. Lawrence was a far better amateur. I don't know what Dan's done as an amateur, but I do know Lawrence was a good amateur. End of story, he was a good amateur. You don't be an ABA champion if you can't fight. The bookies is writing Lawrence off. I think put him in your accumulator. I think he's worth a good bet. I don't want to fall out with Dan about this, but I just think Lawrence is my pick. Lawrence is my pick.
One other thing I want to get your thoughts on before I let you go and eat your food. I appreciate you just ordered and I've sort of dragged you away from the restaurant, so appreciate that. I'm sure you were tuned in over the weekend. Anthony Joshua reclaiming the Unified Heavyweight Championship from Andy Ruiz out in Diriyah. Jose, just your thoughts on the fight and what did you make of Anthony Joshua's performance?
Anthony Joshua done what he had to do to win the fight. If he fought any other way than the way he did, he would have lost, because Andy Ruiz can punch. He's a big banger. He's got slow feet. He had to hit and move. Don't let the small, fat man come in the tall, athletic man's range. And that's what he done. And he executed a game plan perfectly, and he won the fight.
In the post-fight press conference, Andy Ruiz was citing several different things. I'm not to say he made excuses, but there were things like, maybe the lifestyle got to me, I was partying, I wasn't listening to my coach, etc. A lot of people weren't too happy with that. Do you think he should have just left that and just let it be?
Why make excuses after the fight? If he had them excuses in his head in the first place, and he said them straight away in the interview at the end of the fight, well, he already knew that before he went in. So why didn't he just train? It's a funny one, because I don't like men making excuses for no reason. If there was a real reason, one of his family just died or something, there was a real reason what you could be upset about, and you could ease off the training a little bit because your head's not in the right place. Not just because you've got millions and you're gonna get more millions. If he won that fight, the world, I know the world was his oyster anyway, but if he won that fight, he could have made another super fight against Deontay Wilder for all the belts, and he had the chance of being the unified champion of the world. Not a lot of people have done that for a lot of time.
Jose, I'm going to let you get back to your food in just a second. I'm going to leave the final word to you. For those tuning in, those coming down Saturday night, what can they expect to see from yourself?
A good boring fight. No, listen, I'll be in control. I will be the centre of the ring. I'll be using my jab. I'll be looking for openings. And it's up to Bob to make it an interesting fight or not.
Jose, thank you very much. Go and enjoy your lunch, and we'll catch you very soon. Best of luck.
Thank you.